So I'm back once again. I don't want to bore you guys. This is for deep thinkers and curious learners. So, even though I've talked about this before, I want to go into it again. Studying. Okay, so people know the word studying. Studying is the act of revisiting information that you have read already over again. It can be going over it one time after you've read it. It can be going over it 1,000 times after you've read it. But let's break that down. So, when a person says, I have to study, what does that really mean? It means that the first time they read it, or the first time they learned it, they wasn't really paying attention, and they didn't really understand it. So basically, for whatever reason, you can say they effed up the first time around. So now they have to study. Okay? Studying is a weak form of learning. Studying is for people who can't get it the first time and need to go back and get it again, however many times. Studying is also caused because of people's lack of interest and because it's something that they're forced to do. Something that they really don't care about most of the time. Something that they just have to hurry up and learn so they can be able to bring forth that information for another person, such as for a test that's going to be graded. Studying is just like it gives you a fake sense of intelligence. Studying is mostly the practice of focusing on words, but not focusing on the understanding or the meaning of the words. That's what studying is normally for. I don't study majority of the time. The only time I even study is when I'm forced to have to learn some information. Well, I know all the information, but I'm forced to have to recall information at somebody else's discretion, which at the time I'm not really interested in, but because I have to be able to call upon this information, then I have to study, such as taking a driver's test endorsement, something like that. Okay, now there's nothing natural about studying. Okay, studying is the act of going over something again, and hoping to get a different result from it. That is insanity. The words do not change. The information does not change that you're studying. So what is changing? You're changing. Why? Because for some reason, the first time you read it, you didn't gain the understanding that you needed. But that's because studying is not about understanding. Studying is just about words. Studying is good if you want to be able to remember specific words. Now, the most important information that we know and we understand comes from not studying. Also, studying is information that you always going to have to restudy. You're always going to have to restudy. If you're studying something, when you want to be able to recite it again, you have to study. Studying doesn't stick with you because studying is normally a lack of understanding. It comes with that tag. When you have an understanding of something, it lasts way longer and you're able to call upon it whenever you need it. Studying is just like, it has a shelf life. You know what I mean? And then you have to go back and study again. So how many times does a person need to study something before they actually can gain the understanding that they really want? Or to gain the understanding that they really should have. It's a brain fart, basically. I mean, most of our learning comes from understanding, not from studying. Okay? People who learned how to ride a bike, they didn't study a book to learn how to ride a bike. They gained understanding. Their parent normally put them on a bike with training wheels. They got on the bike. As their parent was pushing them on the bike, their leg, on each side of their leg, was using their feet, and their feet was pedaling. Now the kid might not even be pedaling, but by the parent pushing the bike, the pedals are going to move with the kid's legs going up and down. Eventually, the kid understands that if they stop pedaling or they stop pushing their feet onto the pedals, the bike will stop. They have that understanding. Eventually, the parent takes the training wheels off and starts off pushing the kid. As the kid is being pushed, the kid is understanding that, you know, the foot is pushing the pedals or whatever, and once they realize their parent isn't behind them anymore, they a lot of times get scared or whatever, and they might even just fall. But after they fall or whatever, they get the understanding that, oh, so when I'm pedaling and I stop because I don't have training wheels on, the bike won't just come to a stop, but if I don't put my feet down on each side of the bike, I'm going to fall. And this is something that people take from the first time they learn how to ride a bike to even when they're not even able to ride a bike no more because of old age. This is something that somebody on their bed at 100 years old can explain to you with a great understanding, unless they're mentally not functioning well enough. But that's because they have an understanding. They don't have to go back and read a book to tell you to study how to ride a bike. See, these are the things that we take with us either a lifetime or we can take it for many years. Studying never lasts. It never lasts. It may last for a few years if you're interested in it, but for the most part, studying is information that's used when it's needed and then completely forgotten. And to even be able to use the information again, you have to study. You have to study again. So basically, where my interest lies in is reading, getting an understanding, moving on, learning new things, research. Research is the act of learning new things. Studying is the act of going over things that you already are supposed to have known because you've read it, but you missed things because whatever reasons or whatever things going on in your life or whatever you just wasn't interested or whatever you just was trying to pass a test, those things. Understanding is the important part in life. Reading just to be able to study things is only to make somebody else happy. Like, okay, you're good enough. You studied. You studied good enough to get an A. Okay? You studied good enough to get an A+. You studied good enough to get a little sticker. So, once again, this is Mastering Teacher GF checking in and checking out. Peace.